shop working and we finish something 1/100th of a second faster. In the shop, is that going to make a huge difference being 100th of a second faster? Maybe, probably not that much 100th of a second. But everything counts. And here's why. In February, I'm about to embarrass myself a little bit. I'm a NASCAR fan, okay? So, yeah, I live in Virginia. I'm below the Mason-Dixon. I like the South. We have 2 races in Virginia, actually 3 races in Virginia every year. So I'm kind of a NASCAR fan. And in February, every year, at the beginning of the year, Daytona is the first race of the year. This year, a guy named Denny Hamlin won. And he won by 100th of a second. They raced for 3 hours, 10 minutes, and 47 seconds. So the starting flag dropped, and 3 hours and 10 minutes later, they drove left. For 3 hours, 10 minutes, and 47 seconds. And at that point, Denny Hamlin crossed the finish line. And whoever was second. We never remember who's second. Why not? Because they're losers! Not only were they losers, they're the best loser ever.
Yeah.
I lost faster than anybody else. The prize money at Daytona is about $1.5 million.
Wow.
Second place is about $1 million. Denny Hamlin crossed the finish line, and 1/100th of a second later, somebody else crossed the finish line. And Denny Hamlin made $500,000 more. We don't know who on his team was responsible for that. Was it the jackman who got his car up a little bit quicker when he came in to change the tires? Was it the guy who puts the lug nuts on? Was it the guy who puts the fuel in? Was it his spotter who told him to drift down the lane quicker? We don't know who on the team helped him win that $500,000. But we know it was the whole team. If the jackman had been slower, if the spotter had said stay high instead of go low, if he hadn't told him about another car coming up on his side. We don't know, but when we're a team, everything depends on team. How many of you are self-employed in here? Everybody put your hand up, please. Get it up. Jeffrey, come on. Hakeem, get it up. Everybody? Raise your hand. I know you don't know why, but raise your hand. Okay, you can put Andrea. What's your hand doing now? Every person that has a job is self-employed. You are personal services corporations. You sell your time to Schaumburg Specialties. You sell your skill set to Schaumburg Specialties. I am self-employed. I have my own training and speaking company. Today and yesterday, I was selling my time and my services to Schaumburg Specialties. Tomorrow, I'll go over to Inspire, and then they will be my employer for the day. Tomorrow, Schaumburg will be your employer. We're really no different. I'm self-employed and you're self-employed. The tax code in the United States, tax numbers flow differently and withholdings flow differently for self-employed and non-self-employed. But that's just numbers. That's just moving things around. The reality is, I am self-employed. I come in and I add value. If I continue to add value, they'll continue to invite me back. If I'm not adding value, they won't invite me back. And that's the way all of life works. The world pays for one thing, value. The world pays for value. How much is a car worth?
Average?
No, how much is a car worth? It depends. That's the answer. How much is a job worth? How much is an employee worth? How much is a rack worth? How much is a computer worth? The world pays for value. The more value we add to the world, the more money will come to us. What's different now at the airport than when we traveled in the 90s? What's different now than before when we used to travel in the 90s?
Security.
The security there. They have the guards and the sensors.
How many points do I get for that?
7 million.
That's right.
So yeah, they have security there now. What's security designed to do? Keep us safe, right? Make sure nothing dangerous gets on that plane. So no guns, no knives, no explosives, nothing. But we have those security detectors there, and for the most part, they do a pretty good job. No planes have come down due to terrorists in years and years and years.
Right.
So overall, they do a pretty good job, and they're not perfect. What we want to start thinking about is when we come to work, how can we stay present? How can we make sure that we don't bring anything dangerous? So when you walk in the door, at the place where you work, whether you come in the front door, the side door, the big roll up, wherever it is, however you walk in the building, imagine there's a security detector there. And there's a guard standing there. And he says, are you bringing anything dangerous? What would be something dangerous to bring into work?
Bad attitude.
Bad attitude, being grumpy, being overly tired because you partied too hard the night before. All of these things can be dangerous. The attitude is by far the biggest.
Yeah.
If we bring a bad attitude in, that's a dangerous thing, just like bringing a gun or a knife or an explosive on a plane. So as we walk in, now do any of you ever have challenges at home?
Yeah.
Do you ever have challenges with your spouses?
Right.
You can't say
Two hands up for that.
You ever have a challenge with your boyfriends or girlfriends? If you have a spouse, don't raise your hand. That's bad. If you have a boyfriend and a husband, or a girlfriend and a wife, you definitely have challenges. Things happen. Sometimes we struggle at home. Sometimes the kids tell us last thing in the morning, oh, I was supposed to make cookies, and we have to run to Walmart or the bakery and get some stuff and take them, and we're running late and we're frustrated. We get flat tires. We have traffic. We have things happen. And that's called life. When we walk through that door, and somebody says, how's it going this morning? Oh man, traffic sucked, and my wife sucked, it's bad, it's awful, it's blah. And we puke all over our coworkers. Stop it. You're a terrorist. You just brought something dangerous on the plane. And that's not okay.
Negative.
Nobody needs to hear the negative. Negative happens. Traffic. I actually hear people complain about traffic. You live in Chicago! Move to Paducah, Kentucky. They have like 17 cars. There's no traffic. Exactly. Yeah. Don't go to Pennsylvania. The Amish. You got to get around there. That takes forever. Stuff happens. So what? Walk through the door, maybe sit in your car for a minute or two and think, these are my customers. I'm going to walk in. I'm going to have a good attitude today. I want to respect everybody on the plane. I want to respect everybody on my team. How many terrorists does it take to bring down a plane?
One.
We don't want any terrorists here. What we do is we say, we didn't get it done on time. Let's do a root cause analysis. Let's say, can we figure out how to stop that from happening in the future? It didn't happen because he didn't weld at time, and he didn't get it to me on time, and she didn't do that, and he didn't do that, and she... No, it didn't happen because it didn't happen. Let's figure out how tomorrow to make sure that we don't have that glitch. How can we communicate differently? How can we change our workflow? What can I do personally to make it better? The blame game never helps anybody. Because then if you blame somebody else, they have to get their shield and sword out, and then he blames somebody, and then she has to get her shield and sword out. And now we have this big battle going on instead of figuring out, hey, what can we do to make sure that doesn't happen?